Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. Today we're checking out top 20 worst fake British accents in film and TV. 20. Buckle in. That's a lot.
British accents are heard in every major on-screen franchise, but maybe leave those roles to the actual Brits.
Burn.
Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 20 worst fake British accents in film and television. For this list, prepare your ears for some painfully poor accents, courtesy of folks from other parts of the globe.
Alright.
While we do respect the effort, we just can't let you get away with some of these.
Yesterday I reacted to a video about the top 10 best British accents, and I thought it would be fun to find one showing the worst ones. And I found it. And this is it. And there's 20 of them, which is a lot. For the remainder of this video, perhaps I should try to speak with some sort of British accent myself. I don't know which one this is. I know there's several different ones depending on the region and socioeconomic issues. Like, this is bad. I can
Number 20, Misha Barton, Saint Trinians.
Right.
Let's start off with something simply
bad.
diabolical. Misha Barton, whom you may remember from shows like The OC, took the role of JJ French in this cult classic movie. You'll probably have some difficulty trying to discern which regional accent she's trying to put on here, since she seems to be fading in and out of her own accent mid-bloody sentence. It's actually shocking to think that Misha was born in the UK, when this was the best that she could pull off.
Phew. Yeah, that was pretty bad. She said war instead of war when you wore that dress. It's hard to drop it. When you wore that dress. When you wore that dress. And the director, why didn't the director stop and say, no, that's not right, that sounds like
Number 19, Robert Downey Jr., Doolittle. As if there weren't already a million things wrong with this shoddy movie. While RDJ has gotten a passing grade for his British accent in movies like the Sherlock Holmes series, he proved here that there is perhaps a limit to his acting chops. In a movie full of CGI cartoon animals, his accent somehow comes across the most ludicrous. Now, you may actually be wondering what on earth the accent he's trying to do is. Well, it's Welsh. But honestly, it's a lot less Cymru and a lot more come on, Robert.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I guess because he's trying to do a Welsh accent. Funny thing is, he was I gotta stop. I can't even hear myself doing that accent. It's pretty bad. But he was on the top 10 list of the best British accents. I think he was like number 3 or 4 for Sherlock Holmes, and it was really good. But he's still a good actor. RDJ, we love you. You know that. He knows that. He knows he's great. He doesn't need me telling him that. You're great.
Number 18, Larissa Gallagher,
I don't know who that
Steven
is.
Universe Future. The Steven Universe
Sounded
series
good to
was
me.
home to an array of bright and colourful characters from all sorts of backgrounds. However, when the fusion character Bluebird Azurite turned up touting a poor Cockney accent, we'd wished they'd been a little less inclusive. Portrayed by the Australian-born American actress, this attempt is about as frustrating to listen to as you can imagine. Given the fact that British singer Estelle plays one of the main characters of the show, you think she would have stepped in and given her some pointers. Of course, we do have to give some leeway, since this is obviously hammed up for a cartoon performance, and Gallagher has proven to be a good voice actor elsewhere.
I thought she sounded alright. I thought she was doing it okay. Better than I am, right now. The guy said that the other actress should step in and give us some pointers. I have to say that would be not cool. That would be against set etiquette. Also, these are cartoons, so they're not even in the same room. They're just doing their lines individually. They're probably not even in the same room on the same day. They probably didn't even meet. Also, it would just be rude to say, hey, your accent sucks. Let me give you some pointers. Anyway, I didn't think she was that bad. Moving on.
Number 17, Michael C. Hall.
He's great.
Safe. The talented actor behind the leads of 6 Feet Under and Dexter, Michael C. Hall has a resume of stellar performances on the small screen. So why, oh why, did he have to test out his British accent here? You got nothing to prove, Mike. He gets all stiff every time he starts to speak, almost as if he's focusing too much on trying to pull the voice off. It's a little hard to focus on the intense drama that's going on in the show when he keeps this going. If you can look past the accent though, it's a good performance.
Yeah, that was not great. I feel myself sounding more Australian as we move along. Michael C. Hall's a wonderful actor, and I thought the accent wasn't that bad, but it's like almost not enough. Like, knowing he's American makes it feel like I can hear the American still in there. But he's a wonderful actor. Mike, if you're watching, you're wonderful. You're wonderful. Don't let this get you down. You're a wonderful actor. You're probably a wonderful person. I support you and your Americanness.
Number 16, Jake Gyllenhaal, Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time.
Hang on. Yesterday, they mentioned him in the other video of very good British accents, and I believe it was this film that they talked about, so I don't know. I don't know what Mojo UK is up to. I guess maybe they have different production people and they're not communicating. Or maybe the opinions of the accents have changed. I'm sorry, this is bad. I'm so sorry.
Alright, now the first question that comes to mind is, why the hell would the Prince of Persia have a British accent to begin with?
Good question.
Alas, this was the case anyway in this video game movie adaptation, where Gyllenhaal played the most American-sounding British-accented Middle Eastern prince ever. That's done. Saddest part is, Jake said he worked on the accent for months. Hard work doesn't always pay off, folks. Fortunately, Gyllenhaal has admitted in recent years that the role wasn't right for him.
I thought it wasn't that bad. To my ear, Jake, I think you're great. I think the issue here is not the accent, it's the fact that you're playing a Persian and you're a white guy. That's the weird thing. Also, you're speaking English and you're Persian. You're the Prince of what? Prince? Yeah. No, I don't think they would make this today. I don't think he would get booked on that role today. This is bad. I'm sorry.
Number 15, Noomi Rapace, Prometheus.
Oh, I saw
Swedish
this film.
superstar Noomi Rapace got her lucky break when she performed as Lisbeth Salander in the original Girl with the Dragon Tattoo trilogy, and her transition into Hollywood was pretty damn fluid. So you're wondering why she's on this list. Because the way she speaks in no way resembles a British accent of any kind. But yeah, turns out the character was supposed to be a Brit after all. Fooled us.
She sounds British to me. I don't know. I don't know what the problem is with that. Maybe they just didn't show enough clips of her talking. I would have thought she was British, but she's Swedish. Naomi Rapace. Not bad.
Number 14, Russell Crowe, Robin Hood. Now, there was plenty wrong with this movie already, but we're
American.
focusing on Crowe's portrayal of the famous thief. Slipping between English, Irish, and Scottish in this movie, Crowe brought down an already dull film even further. Anyway, Crowe got pretty heated at people criticising his accent in this movie, and he'd probably kick my ass, so I'll stop there. But trust us, this isn't the only time this heroic outlaw will appear on this list.
Yeah, isn't he Australian? Or is it? It's not that bad. It's just kind of like muddled or subdued. Russell, I know you're watching. I know you're a big fan of mine, and I just want you to know that I love you dearly. And I like your accent. Please don't kick my arse. My arse. Arse. My rear end. Don't kick it, please.
Number 13, Christopher Lambert, Highlander. This one was a recipe for disaster. Lambert is a French actor who spent much of his childhood in Switzerland, so you know his English already wasn't exactly perfect. But when you force a bloke with that experience to do a Scottish accent, you're just asking for trouble. You can say what you want about Sean Connery playing a Spanish character in the film and just sticking with his own voice, but for this to be the protagonist of the movie is just unforgivable.
What? He didn't sound British at all. He sounds like some Czechoslovakian, East European type of thing. That was bad. Really bad.
Number 12, Madonna, the next best thing. Let's just say it, Madonna has proven to be an absolutely dire actress almost every time she's tried. That means you can already brace yourself for how shockingly bad her British accent was in this rom-com flick. Madonna has already adopted the UK as her second home, and her voice has kind of evolved after all the years spent here. But even still, she can't quite capture a convincing voice for the whole movie. Since its release, no one has been able to identify whether this character was really meant to be British or not. It baffles scientists to this day.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. That bad. Her accent is bad. She sounds like she's moving in between British and Long Island. Like Long Island. Hey, my name's Madonna. I'm doing a British accent. Madonna. My name's Madonna. I'm doing a rom-com. I'm gonna have a British accent. I'm sorry. Sorry again. Who's next?
Number 11, Kevin Costner, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
I remember this.
Ah yes, you knew it was coming. While this movie blew up in '91, as the years have passed, people have begun questioning what the hell they were thinking. Starring as the legendary thief himself, Costner's accent makes you question whether or not he was trying to sound British or if he just said sod it. He's dropping hard American syllables throughout the movie, and the only thing that can take your mind off it is Alan Rickman's awesome over-the-top performance.
I forgot he was in that. Alan Rickman does make up for it. It was not a bad film, but Kevin Costner's accent's pretty bad. He said, I can't keep doing it. I gotta stop. One of his lines, he said, he dropped the accent on the word family. He says, I know what it's like to be separated from your home and family. Why not do another take? Family. Yeah, family. Your home and family. I know what it's like to be separated from your home and family. I know what it's like to be separated from your home and family. So weird. Kevin, if you're watching, I love you. Cast me in your next project. You're wonderful. Don't let this sour our relationship. I love you.
Number 10, James Franco, Your Highness. Just because your film is based in fantasy doesn't mean your accent should be. In this magical comedy, Fabius and Thaddeus are on a quest to save Fabius's wife from an evil wizard with a lot more adult humour than you'd expect from the genre. But James Franco's accent is about as unexpected as it gets. While Danny McBride gives an off and on performance with his voice, it's Franco's limey and barely present accent that really steals the show, and not in a good way. Even during impassioned speeches, Franco slips between caricature and his natural speaking voice, resulting in an accent that's only suitable for comedy.
It's actually not that bad, but it's not great. If this is a comedy, why not just lean into it? Just go for it. All the way, caricature, British accent. Why try to be subtle, you know? Do the Dick Van Dyke thing. Dick Van Dyke thing. Dick Van Dyke thing? Dick Van Dyke. Dick Van Dyke. I just realized how funny his name is. Dick Van Dyke. Alright. Next.
Number 9, Lindsay Lohan, The Parent Trap. It's hard to get too upset by mess-ups from child actors, but there are definitely a few exceptions. Playing her own twin in this childhood comedy, a young Lindsay Lohan actually does a surprisingly good job at separating her role even when acting opposite herself, but even the best acting needs to sound real. Giving her best posh accent a go, Lohan sounds like a Dickensian stereotype in both her cartoonish tone and even cornier dialogue about having class. Despite warbling some O's, she manages to poke fun at herself as well, imitating her British twin in the same broken voice.
Very interesting, because she's dropping when she says the A's. Like when she says, I don't have to, she says, I don't have to. It's weird. That's why she's on the list. She's like 2 years old here, so give her a break.
Number 8, Natalie Portman, V for
What?
Vendetta.
What?
Even an accent suited for the stage doesn't always translate to film. Bringing Alan Moore's political graphic novel to life, Natalie Portman delivers a heartbreaking performance in her role as the unintentional hero, Evie, who's dealing with the consequences of fighting oppressive power. Although the pain and joy she's able to evoke are palpable enough to explain Portman's stardom, her prim accent is so put on that it wouldn't even take a Brit to notice it. Feeling all too classical Shakespearean, Portman's accent pulls viewers right out of the film's intense moments and feels confusing among her otherwise mostly British castmates.
I thought she was pretty good, actually. I like her accent. I think she's good. Natalie, you're great. Don't let this get you down. If you've ever seen Between Two Ferns by Zach Galifianakis, she did an interview with him and he asked her, you shaved your head for the movie V for Vendetta. Did you also shave your V for vagina? That was funny. Who's next?
Number 7, Dick Van Dyke.
Dick Van
Mary
Dyke.
Poppins. A convincing accent can always pull audiences in, while a bad imitation can have them laughing. One of the few Americans in this children's classic, Dick Van Dyke's star power was a huge draw to audience on both sides of the pond, a draw he probably wishes he could have avoided. Playing the multi-talented Bert, Van Dyke manages the many jobs of his role well, but slips on the most important job of his own: sounding believable. Attempting full Cockney, he sounds like a parody of his co-stars, but things sound even weirder in song, and even more so when Van Dyke's natural tongue cuts through the voice.
Yeah, that was bad. I forgot how bad it was. I thought it was just like extreme Cockney, but he is dropping it when he says the O's. He said long, long instead of long, long. Like, did I do it right? I don't think I'm doing it right. Anyway, Dick, you're great. We all love Dick.
Number 6, Anne Hathaway, One Day. When playing opposite actual Brits, it helps to at least keep your accent consistent. Over the course of this decade-spanning romantic drama, Emma and Dexter can't help falling in and out of love with each other just about as frequently as Anne Hathaway falls in and out of her own accent. From their very first time on the
Not
screen
bad.
together, Hathaway's natural and very recognisable speaking voice cuts through her accent so hard, it can be difficult at times to tell that she's even supposed to be British, especially next to the very real and very distinct accent of Jim Sturgis.
Oh,
It's a great performance otherwise, but some accents aren't for everyone.
yeah. And, you know, it's probably really tough to do a whole movie with an accent because you drop it sometimes and then you find out when you watch the film that they used to take where your accent drops. I think she's a fine actor. I think she's a fine actor, and I feel like that's what happened. I feel like she would have prepared. And if you're watching, I know you're one of my subscribers. I just want you to know it's not that bad.
Number 5, Shia LaBeouf, Nymphomania.
He's great.
Racy sex scenes and mature content aren't the only reasons for the controversy surrounding this Lars von Trier epic. Playing the hot and cold Jerome throughout multiple years of his encounters with the insatiable Joe, LaBeouf went so thick in his bass and rasp-heavy accent that it's hard to not take some of the scenes as comedic. Making French co-star Stacey Martin's accent look strong by comparison, LaBeouf feels like he's mocking the British as much as he mocks his own co-workers. Completely losing his accent in some of the more heated scenes, Shia rarely carries the tone the material needs.
Yeah, he's a fantastic actor. He's very talented. He's very talented. But I heard him drop it a couple times in there. Shia, you're great. You're a great actor. Don't beat me up. I do have a feeling like he could kill me, and I don't want that to happen.
Number 4, Josh Hartnett, Blow Dry. In a film about attention to detail, you'd think this flub wouldn't have been missed. Brightening up the world of competitive hairstyling, Minnesota-born Josh Hartnett seems a strange choice to play a Brit in this hairy comedy, a choice made all the stranger by his attempt to sound like one. Besides the fact that Hartnett looks about as American as they come, any chance at believing his English heritage is easily dashed anytime he opens his mouth. Sounding like an American imitating a Northerner as a joke, Hartnett even drops the accent every so often for good measure.
Yeah, I heard him drop it a lot. Josh, yeah. He's a good actor, though. Why does he look so American? I don't understand that. Like, what makes someone look American and not British? Is it the teeth? The tan skin? I don't know. He's not that tan. I don't know what I'm talking about. Talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't know what I'm talking about. About? I don't know what I'm talking about. About. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. I can't do it. I'm losing it. Josh, see? I suck. You're better than me. Cast me in your next project.
Number 3, Heather Graham, From Hell. While it's in bad form to judge a book by its cover, sometimes a title becomes a little more than a clever illusion. Going significantly overboard in her portrayal of the Cockney prostitute Mary Kelly, Graham nails the words but not the delivery in her attempt at a 19th century accent. Saying any cliche phrase or slang she can muster to try and sound more convincing, Graham may have aced the voice if she had not laid the inflection so thick, breaking any spells she may have had over the audience.
I thought she sounded great. Heather, you're awesome. Don't listen to this. You're great. That was good. I've not seen this film, I don't know anything about it, but what I just heard sounded excellent.
Number 2, Don Cheadle, Ocean's franchise.
What?
Every so often there's an accent that slides under the radar until the moment you remember the actor is actually American. Taking the piss as demolition expert basher across 3 movies, Cheadle plays as shady as a Brit as he knows, sounding more like an Oliver Twist extra than a real person as he rhymes and drops slang throughout conversations. Just when it seems like he can't go any further with his accent, Cheadle whispers in his own voice throughout the series without anyone batting an eye. Alternatively, his time as American icon Fender Rhodes isn't that much of a step up.
I thought it was pretty good, except for that last... I'm doing it too. Except for that last sample. He sounded totally American. Maybe it's because he's wearing an American flag. You can't help it. I thought it was good though. Don, you're good. Don't let this bother you. You're good. Cast me in your next project.
Number 1, Keanu Reeves, Bram Stoker's Dracula. There's a particular combination of great talent that makes such horrors of acting more unbelievable than the fictional horror of their story. Bringing this tale of ancient evil to life, legendary director Francis Ford Coppola brought British powerhouses like Gary Oldman and Anthony Hopkins on board to do the story justice, but somehow let Keanu's horrendous attempt at an accent pass the audition phase. On top of some questionable acting, his rasp-laden tone always feels like a bad impression rather than anyone's actual voice, making for one accent so hilariously sloppy that it makes the movie worth watching for a completely different reason. Do you agree with our picks?
I think Keanu has a heart of gold. He seems like a fine, very kind, friendly gentleman. I don't blame him. You know who I blame? Francis Ford Coppola for casting him. Francis, listen to my accent. I'm just as proper. Cast me in your next project. Megatropolis. I don't think I agree with a lot of these picks. I think most of them were actually alright. But I'm an American, I don't have the ear for it. Some of these selections are unfair. And you know what? I don't blame the actors. I blame the directors. They have the ultimate creative responsibility to make sure that the accents are correct and to cast people who can do proper accents. But anyway, how's my accent now? I'm alright, right? It's not bad. I don't know if these were in order, like worst at the top. Was Keanu Reeves supposed to be the worst? Because, well, he probably was. Anyway, this was a fun video. Thank you all for watching it with me, and I'll see you next time. Later.